record on the cloud now. Excellent. So we're getting started now, Fit for All. So just a reminder, this presentation is really just about sharing some general information with you. We've gone through every effort to make sure the information we're providing is accurate, reliable. The resources we share are evidence-based and they're credible organizations that we link you guys up with. So if you do have questions relating to your individual treatment or your ongoing management, just a friendly reminder to always go back to your health professional and your primary healthcare provider to ask those questions. Okay, so we will be talking about the benefits of staying fit and revisiting that. We've gone into these benefits in a lot more extensive detail over the past 3 weeks. So we will just be touching on them today and refreshing our memory. We will be covering affordable ways to stay fit. So we will be touching on the space of home workouts. We'll be talking about outdoor and community activities and really fun ways to get engaged with the community and still keep exercising, even when, affordability is a challenge for you personally. So we'll be talking about tips for exercising at home and making sure that you're doing it safely. Okay, so I've mentioned we've talked about these before, and hopefully we all still remember what they are, and hopefully some of the messages from the past couple of webinars have stayed with us. But just a reminder, there are so many benefits to staying fit, and hopefully, you can remember what they are, why it's so beneficial to keep exercising. I hope all of us can remember that saying, motion is lotion. We continually reinforce that message, and it's just because exercise has such an important role in nourishing the cells in the joint tissues, keeping all our joint structures healthy and lubricated, and therefore helping reduce things like pain, improve stiffness, reduce tension. Exercise is actually vital for increasing muscle strength and maintaining muscle mass in the body, which is something that does become a little bit more compromised as we get older. By increasing muscle strength, we are actually able to increase support around the joint, making it more stable. So it also helps give it more support, and we'll talk a little bit more about that shortly. Exercise can help with increasing things like the range of motion, which can make our joint more flexible and also help in reducing pain, improving function. Has a key role in inducing weight loss or maintaining a healthy weight, which can have very meaningful effects on pain, stiffness, function, and even reduce that risk of things like osteoarthritis worsening, or reduce the disease activity in rheumatoid arthritis and help with controlling those flares. There are also inflammatory factors where exercise can be good for reducing inflammation in the joint, whether you have osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, or any other type of arthritis, so gout, psoriatic arthritis. There is evidence that continuing to exercise is really beneficial for those joints. So there's so many different ways that exercise can help locally in those joints, but there's also going to be benefits in the brain. So a lot of the evidence suggests that exercise can actually provide that pain relief in terms of how it affects psychological health, mental health. It helps release endorphins in the body, helps regulate our nervous system. And so from that perspective, hopefully we can understand how it can help with pain and just generally creating that sense of well-being, and then also improving things like sleep. And so how much should we be moving? So I guess the guidelines talk about how much exercise we should actually be getting across the week. And so the recommendation is 150 minutes across the week of moderate intensity physical activity. or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity physical activity. So really that just translates to 30 minutes a day. Now, when we're talking about exercise and physical activity, yes, structured exercise is going to be really beneficial for our joints and I guess helping with achieve all those benefits we went through before. But we also mean just moving the body throughout the day and week. So this can be playing games, it can be carrying out household chores, traveling, engaging in recreational activity, could be gardening, it could be taking your dog for a walk. Of course, structured exercise is really going to help you achieve that target of 150 minutes to 70 or 75 minutes, but you can certainly hit those targets through just generally moving that body. Now, if you're someone who finds that 30 minutes difficult right now, you can still get the benefits from, I guess, breaking it up into smaller bouts. So starting with just 10 minutes once or twice a day, after 2 weeks, increasing it to 15 minutes, maybe twice a day. If you can do more than 30 minutes, that's great. You will get certainly extra benefits. But of course, we'll be talking a little bit more about, starting low and going slowly, especially if exercise is new to you. So building activity into your day, physical activity, again, it doesn't have to be structured. It doesn't have to be going to the gym and, paying extensive amounts for a membership and smashing those free weights on the benches. It can be, we can't underestimate the power of incidental activity, which is what we call these activities and tasks here. They're the tasks that are part of everyday life. They're not structured exercises, but they're still going to deliver several benefits. So walking or riding your bike for short trips instead of driving, even just driving to a park and ride spot, or walking or riding your bike the rest of the way, using stairs instead of a lift or escalator, getting off the bus one stop earlier and walking the rest of the way, parking further away from your destination and walk, walking to the park to eat lunch. All these activities we don't realize have incredible benefits for our health. So if weight management is something that's on your radar, this is the type of activity that can actually help with increasing how many kilojoules you're burning across a day. And so we've spoken about how energy balance is really important for maintaining a healthy weight. We've got improved cardiovascular health. So even just walking around the house or climbing stairs can have a number of cardiovascular benefits, improving heart health and just general circulation. Improving joint health and your mobility. So it's just those simple movements like stretching, reaching, bending, that can really help with flexibility, mobility, and reduce the frequency and the severity of the stiffness and discomfort you feel on a regular basis. So they're just some of the many benefits that you can achieve through those small activities. Now, there's something that's really important when it comes to what's the best type of exercise for us. It's exercise that addresses your individual barriers. So these barriers vary from person to person. And so these barriers and factors that prevent you from working out are very common. And so do any of these ring a bell to some of you? Do some of you recognize these phrases and you're like, yeah, that sounds familiar?
I know I don't have enough time, so I often try and do it first thing in the morning, and then it's done, so I don't have that excuse.
Yeah, that's a great way to overcome that barrier. Really good example. I mean, busy schedules can certainly make it really difficult to find time to exercise, but it's good that you have navigated that and you've found a solution.
Yeah.
Now I've got a raised hand and it's from @Moreland.
That's
And
Arthur.
feel free to correct me with your name.
That's Arthur. AT
Arthur,
Moorlands. Yeah, that's
nice
Arthur
to hear
Moorland.
from you.
I find all those in some way affect my ability to exercise.
Yep.
I do
All-
attend exercises such as cardiac rehab and strengthening exercises for physio, the osteoarthritis chronic care program, but they all have some limitations. As soon as I finish a course, it says, now go off to the gym. Now, my finances don't allow me to go to the gym at $20 a time.
Yeah.
And if I do that twice a week, and the neighbourhood not safe for walks is not because of the people in the neighbourhood, but sometimes tree branches and all that sort of thing. They end up hitting you as you walk past.
Yeah,
And
thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing that, Arthur. All these things are incredibly valid reasons as to why they can prevent you from exercising, hitting those targets, and following through with just some of the general self-management strategies we often talk about. You know, lack of motivation is one thing, but then not having enough time is another thing. The cost of gym memberships, equipment, specialized classes sometimes. Of course, there are shortfall of health services in some areas, especially if you live out rural, regional, and the physios are booked out. It can make it really hard to achieve that consistency to get the results from the exercise. And so the neighborhood not being safe for walks, that's something that is relevant in a lot of areas. And so hopefully some of the tools and resources we show you today are going to help you overcome some of these things. And hopefully we can point you in the right direction. So let's talk.
Yeah,
Yes.
Sorry, I have a question to ask, because I know that previously you mentioned that it is good to go by, like go up the steps, right?
Mhm.
Now, I used to catch the train. I'm an elderly, and sometimes I heard people say that, no, you take the lift, to go to the concourse, and that save you to where you live, up to where your knee pain, to make it worse. But then I thought I need to climb up the steps. So which one, who is saying that, what is the correct view then? Because I like to have the exercise to go step slowly, but on the other hand, I'm worried that it will worsen my arthritis pain.
Yeah, for some people, definitely climbing those stairs at the train stations can be beneficial for some of us who especially need to get that movement increase in their everyday. And sometimes it's just, when people point you in the direction to the lift, could be misinformation, misunderstanding, and just a general courtesy thing. And so it's absolutely fine to push back on that, because the stairs are something you absolutely shouldn't fear. It's something you shouldn't avoid if you, are still very active and you need to exercise more. And it's a great opportunity to actually get moving. So yeah, that's definitely something that happens a lot today, Janet, but don't feel like you ever need to just go straight to the lift. Feel free to push back on that.
Thank you.
So I guess when it comes to home workouts, when it comes to our technology, we have an abundance of resources that are actually available to help you establish and maintain a home workout routine. And so what I'm showing you here is just some of the many options that are actually available to help you here. So with home workouts, they can be really great, cost effective, but also beneficial in the sense that there's very minimal equipment required. For some workouts, it can be fine just to be utilizing things like your chairs or utilizing the staircase in your household. For some, incorporating those resistance bands. It also gives you that flexibility, so it can help you navigate those challenges around time. So you can make it suit your schedule, eliminate the need to adhere to gym hours, especially if you go to a gym and they've opening and closes from 9 till 8 p.m. It can be really beneficial, especially with arthritis, because sometimes there are going to be days where you don't feel comfortable and you don't feel up to really leaving the household much, but it's still going to be good and beneficial to still exercise. And maybe this is one way to kind of navigate that challenge. So it really can help offer that comfort, convenience, give you that setup in a familiar environment. And especially if you're someone who has that, experiences discomfort on a regular basis, or you have anxiety in public settings, just having a regular exercise routine in the home is going to be beneficial than not doing anything at all. So platforms like YouTube can be your best friend here. It offers such a large array of workout videos that really cater to different fitness levels, preferences, goals, all which are free. Out of interest, does anyone use YouTube at the moment to set themselves up an exercise regime? And it's perfectly fine if you don't. So there are so many different channels that are available on YouTube, and sometimes you do need to know which channels to be directed to. So platforms like Versus Arthritis, Ask Dr. Joe, The Girl with the Pilates Mat, they're just some of the examples I've pulled out. And it's because we recognize that these facilitators offer arthritis-friendly workouts. So they offer strength, balance, flexibility exercises. They can range from 5 minutes to 50 minutes, but they're going to be suitable for someone if you have, regardless of what type of arthritis you actually have. Yoga with Adrienne provides very high quality workouts that range from strength training to yoga and Pilates. Barb, it's great to hear that you use More Health for Life. Is that a YouTube channel? Sometimes it's just knowing where to go. And so sometimes sharing your resources amongst one another can be really beneficial to actually have a starting point.
That's a website that I found I had recommended to me, and it's particularly good for all parts of the body, and they tailor a lot of individual things to hands, knees, feet, lower limb strengthening, all that.
Fantastic. So if anyone wants to save those details, definitely feel free to. Is it a free website where you can access different videos?
Yeah, it's free.
How do you know whether it is free or it's not free?
Normally, if you go into the website or the app or the channel, it will say if it's offered for free, or if you need to pay for a subscription or a membership. Sometimes some apps and websites offer both to you, and I'll show you one shortly, which is highly recommended.
And if they offer a trial, it's usually paid.
Yeah. And that's another good tip for everyone. If it offers a trial, be prepared to pay. But sometimes it can be worth weighing up if it's, going to cost you $8, maybe a month or across the year. There's so many different price points for these platforms and channels where sometimes it can be the more cost-effective option than a gym membership, which is a few $100s a year. Last week, we spoke about our organization's program. So we spoke about our Get Moving Dance Moves series. I would encourage you to have a look on our website. The Dance Moves is an excellent program. It does cost a little bit of money, but it's not an extensive price that you have to pay for. But there are videos on our website that you can follow along and do the short circuits. So I would encourage you to have a look at those. And then we also have apps like Simply Move. So Simply Move is a digital health platform. You can download it on an iPhone or an Android, but it's intentionally designed to help people with chronic disease management, rehab, post-hip, knee surgery, falls prevention, help with general strength and fitness, and it helps a lot of people with arthritis. So there's a free and premium version in this app, but it's pretty much intended to provide you with an exercise program that's tailored to your ability, your pain, medical conditions, goals, and interests. So we actually know the developer of this app, and she has been working really hard to make sure that people with arthritis actually know about this app that's available to them. It has a range of medical exercise programs. There's an online telehealth that you have access to, and there's also the education that you get alongside it. So you can definitely download it on your iPhone or the Google Store. And again, there's a free version which offers you 3 programs and the health education, but then there's also a premium version that's available, and that gives you access to 200 plus programs. So if that's something you're interested in, you can definitely download that or jump onto the website and have a read through that. But when it comes to your home workouts, to really get the benefits from the exercise and the workouts, consistency and patience is really key here. And so it's really important to have a schedule. So this is not only to help with, this is not really just for like planning your workouts in advance. It's about scheduling them into your daily or weekly routine. And that's what can really help with achieving the consistency. And when we get that consistency right, that's when we see the results and the progress. And that's one of the biggest challenges when it comes to home workouts, is really getting that schedule right for you and being consistent and staying motivated to achieve it. But we'll discuss some ways you can kind of make sure that you're keeping yourself accountable to that. Out of safety, just always make sure that you're warming up before you actually start your workouts. So focus on gentle movements that actually increase blood flow to the joints, improve flexibility, reduce stiffness. You'll know that once you have warmed up properly, you'll feel warmer than when you have started. Your joints should also feel a little bit more supple and mobile after completing the warm-up. And then maybe if you've intensified your warm-up a little bit, your breathing rate should have picked up a bit. And that's really actually a very useful mechanism to help supply that oxygen to the muscles, which is what we need if we're going to be increasing that exercise. So when you're doing a home workout, you don't really have anyone there to actually guide your form or correct your technique. This is why it's really important to actually start with a workout that's suited to your fitness levels. So really making sure that when you're looking up exercise routines or strength training programs, it's tailored to the level of fitness you can achieve. So if you're a beginner, starting with a beginner is going to be really important. And then you'll know when it's time to actually progress to the next level. So make sure that the exercises you're doing is always on a stable surface to just reduce that risk of falls or injury. Last thing you want is an injury in your household, and that will set you back. You want to listen to your body as well and avoid pushing yourself too hard, especially if you experience pain or discomfort during exercise. It's really important to actually respect your body's limitations, and it's about really finding that balance between exercising too much and not exercising enough. And so things like pain, we've spoken about a lot. And, it's about recognizing good pain versus the pain that's really indicative that we should stop, maybe seek some medical attention to avoid that risk of injury. And drinking plenty of water before, during, after your workout is actually very important. So it's really important for maintaining optimal performance really important for your joint health and just overall well-being throughout the workout. So if you're absolutely new to this, you should probably consult with a healthcare professional, preferably your GP, before starting a program, especially if you have any other health concerns or other pre-existing medical conditions where maybe they might be able to talk about a healthcare plan and refer you on to a physio or an exercise physiologist. So strength and balance exercises can be, I've mentioned they're a really important part of ongoing management of your arthritis. The more we can maintain that muscle mass, the stronger we can get those muscles, the more load we can actually take off the joints, which can help with things like joint pain, function, and give your joints the more support and stability they need. But in order to actually see these benefits from these types of exercises, ideally 2 to 3 times a week is considered an ideal dose. And these type of exercises can be very effectively performed without any kind of gym or specialized equipment. Some of the most common myths around resistance training is that I need to buy equipment to do these exercises, but these type of exercises can be performed at home with very basic equipment using your own body weight. And then in the next slide, I'll show you what you can do to use in the home to bring that load and resistance into your workout. So canned goods that actually fit into your hands work really well as simple hand weights. And this is good if you're just starting out and trying to build your strength really slowly. You can use larger canned goods as heavier weights. Even if the workout is recommending you use a medicine ball, you can use a larger canned good like a can of diced tomatoes. You can use water bottles for hand weights. So filling those bottles with water, pebbles, sands. When you're filling those bottles, you can also put them on the scales and make sure those weights are the same for both hands. So you're getting that kind of equal resistance in both arms. You can also make wrist and ankle weights from socks, and you can fill clean socks with dried beans, but alternatively you can use rice, pebbles, rocks. You can really be creative here and use the scales to actually adjust that weight. So that's one way to actually get creative with using your socks and using them as resistance. You can use packets of rice or beans as well. So these packages are really great for mini weights, especially if you're a beginner. You can use them from right from the cupboard for arm curls, or there's many other small weightlifting moves you can use. And, you know, you could bring up a video and follow along with the weights, but using your packet of rice. Has anyone been onto the Active and Healthy website? So there's one in New South Wales and there is an equivalent in Queensland.
No.
No.
Okay. So basically, both Active and Healthy websites offer a variety of initiatives, resources, activities to encourage you to live more active lifestyles. And so in New South Wales, we have the Healthy Aging Online Learning, which is a free self-directed education program, and it's offered under New South Wales. And it provides 2 circuits that guide you through different balance and strength exercises. And they have 2 different circuits. They both include warm-up activities. They'll have about 12 different exercises to follow along with. And then they also have cool-down stretches. And so if you are interested in looking into specific details about the program, the website has a lot of information about eligibility criteria because you have to enroll into it. There's available services and there's information in how to participate. So the best place to get more information about this is through the website. And the best thing is these exercises are suitable for most people. They're designed for beginners. It's not tailored to any condition like arthritis as such, but we know that from looking at the exercises that are included, it can certainly be beneficial for the ongoing management of it. So if you're not sure if it's suited for you, if you have concerns about your health, not sure if they're appropriate, if you're recovering from an injury, you can always get advice from your GP, but they do have a pre-exercise screening tool that you can use online as well. So it's another easy platform to use to actually set yourself up that exercise workout routine. Now, you can also use the exercise directory that's available on the website. So I'm showing you the Arthritis New South Wales websites here, but the equivalent exists in Queensland government. So you can see this is what that directory looks like. But it allows you to search for an exercise program that's going to be close to your location and within your proximity. You can search up class type, class schedules. There will be different price points, and there's classes that are even offered for free. A lot of classes that are actually offered for free, which you can participate in. You might just need to enroll and register for a class. But the good thing is for every program, there's a facilitator with contact details. So you can certainly use this directory, and it's very easy to find once you type it into the internet. Now, walking groups. Is anyone part of a walking group here?
I was, but unfortunately, as my health deteriorated, it didn't help because I couldn't keep up with everyone else. In fact, I had to withdraw from some groups because
it can be one of the challenges, finding that trying to keep up with the pace of some other people in a group setting. But for those who haven't ever considered going into one, or they didn't know they exist, walking groups are certainly available in many local areas. They can be found on the Active and Healthy website, the Heart Foundation website, which I believe that someone has Patrick indicated in the chat box. The walking program is a fantastic resource. They also offer them in public libraries or in the local councils. So walking is a very low impact exercise, but it really has a significant value for improving joint flexibility, range of motion. It can help with lubricating your joints, reducing stiffness, reducing pain. For some people with arthritis, it can be really hard to get those daily walks in, which is where walking groups come into it. And not only can it help you stay motivated, it really gives you a good opportunity for social interaction, companionship. It can be fun, distracting, and offer a lot of safety in numbers, especially if you have concerns about walking alone in your neighborhood. So there's some of the websites you can go to actually see where they exist. Now, to get the benefits from walking, it was once believed that 10,000 steps was the goalpost before you could see any kind of health benefits. But what we know from the evidence that has come to light very recently, these health benefits could come from 2,500 steps. So there was recently a study that looked at data from 12 previous studies, and I think it was on the news not that long ago, but they looked at how many steps should be the goal when it comes to improving health. So it suggested the health benefits start from 2,500 and 2,700 steps a day. To lower the risk of heart disease, the ideal amount was 7,000 steps. The biggest reduction in the risk of dying early was associated with a 9,000 step a day target. And just for walking 2,500 steps, they suggested that the risk of dying from any cause was 8% lower. So that's actually a significant reduction. And so it's quite interesting to see that. I think the 10,000 step target, it came from a Japanese campaign many years ago when they were trying, I think they were selling pedometers, and it was an advertisement. And so that's why there's been a lot of anecdotal research, but now they're kind of reevaluating that 10,000 step mark. Because if that sounds like a lot to you, it's evidence suggests that we can start lower and it doesn't need to be that high. If you're just tips for getting into a bit of a walking routine, because walking can deliver an extensive amount of benefits, start slowly. So if you're new to exercise or you have been inactive for quite some time, start with short, easy walks, but gradually increase your duration and intensity over time. That's where we see the progression come. So you can aim for at least 10 minutes of brisk walking to start, and then eventually work your way up to 30 minutes or more per day. Setting realistic goals. So if you set achievable goals for your walking routine, and these could be built around your daily step count, it could be walking a certain distance or walking for a specific amount of time. No matter what the goal is, make sure that these are achievable. And if smaller milestones are going to get you closer to your larger goal, that's great. But it's good to have small goals as well, because it's going to help you track your progress and stay motivated. Just out of safety, again, choosing smooth, flat surfaces for walking is going to be beneficial for a lot of different reasons. If you have mobility issues, if you have a lot of joint pain, particularly in your knees, your feet, walking on the smooth, flat surfaces can put less stress on your joints, especially those joints I just mentioned. And so this can be helpful if you struggle with joint pain. It's going to help minimize discomfort during exercise and help you maintain a very consistent stride and rhythm. So it's really key to maintain a brisk pace. The more you can get the heart rate up, the more kind of benefits we're going to get in terms of cardiovascular benefits, respiratory benefits, and even benefits for joint pain. Wearing proper footwear, if that's something you haven't considered before, investing in a good pair of walking shoes is really, really important. Providing adequate support and cushioning that feet can help with preventing things like injuries, make those walks more comfortable, especially if you have arthritis or foot pain. I'm going to talk a little bit more about using your technology in our next slide. But I do want to go to these next 2 points here and talk about listening to your body. And it's something that we've spoken about over the past couple of weeks. It's just paying attention to how your body feels during and after the walks. So if you experience pain, fatigue, discomfort, it's okay to slow down, take a break, or stop altogether. And it's just really tuning in with those signals to avoid overexertion. And making it enjoyable. So, I mean, if you enjoy listening to music, if you enjoy listening to podcasts, audiobooks, if you prefer to socialize, walking with a friend or family member and exploring new routes, it's really important to make sure it's enjoyable for you. And this is what's going to help with keeping that motivation and staying consistent with your exercise routine. So does anyone use the Health app on their phone? I think there's an equivalent version on Android, I believe, but it tracks steps, active energy burn, walking, running distance. A lot of your phones offer this technology, and it's a very cost-effective way to actually track your activity levels. So you don't need a personal trainer or someone to actually watch every step you do when it comes to exercise. A lot of these apps are free, and and it's accessible to everyone. And tracking your steps or your activity levels are really good because they can provide immediate feedback and motivation to actually stay active through the day. And when you see your progress in that real time and you see that progression, even if you're on a tight budget, you can't afford a gym membership, this can really be encouraging to really go to that next level in terms of your activity. And it can encourage you to take extra steps or increase what type of exercise you're doing. It can also keep you accountable. So it can help you track your activity, track your progress. Some of them allow you to set goals and reminders to make sure that you're staying on track and motivated. So this is where your phone can be your best friend here. Counting steps or you tracking your activity levels can actually also bring that awareness into habits, daily behaviors, and it can help you become more conscious of the opportunities that are actually available to you to increase that physical activity, such as taking the stairs and instead of taking the elevator, taking the longer way around the train station or to work, or going for a walk during your lunch break. So if weight management is something that has been on your radar as well, you can track things like active energy or kilojoules burn. So this involves basically monitoring the kilojoules that you burn through physical activity and exercise. And when it gives you this comprehensive view of your energy balance, it can help you understand whether you're consuming enough calories or kilojoules to fuel your activity levels, or if you need to make adjustments to achieve a healthy energy balance that's going to induce weight loss. So this is where working with a dietitian or nutritionist can be beneficial, but also I've mentioned a few times the Get Healthy service through New South Wales government, where you can access a phone coaching service and they can help with things like understanding your energy balance. They can help set you up with the technology to make sure you're more conscious of kilojoules, making sure that you're increasing your physical activity levels. And so this can be a really useful tool to access if weight loss is something that you know you need to start looking at. Now, flexibility exercise without a gym. So last week we went through many benefits of flexibility exercises. The more flexibility we can get, the easier it will be to perform daily activities and participate in physical activities and sports over time. So flexibility is where it's really good for things like stiffness, muscle tension, and maintaining your range of motion, which we talk about. But again, that ideal dose is around 2 to 3 times per week. So we've spoken about the benefits of Tai Chi for both flexibility and balance. Sometimes the cost of local classes can really vary. Occasionally, there will be free classes run in your local area or in the city. To my knowledge, there are free Tai Chi classes that are run in Centennial Park and Potts Point, I believe. Now, we know that these places aren't always easy to travel to, but you can certainly do it in the comfort of your own home. Now, Dr. Paul Lamb, his Tai Chi for Arthritis program is very well known in the arthritis organizations. It's supported by several medical studies, and it's been recognized by a lot of different organizations for its effectiveness in reducing pain, improving overall health. And there's actually a lot of community centers, senior centers, healthcare facilities, and arthritis support groups that offer this specific program as part of their wellness initiatives. So there are some links to his Tai Chi classes on YouTube, and I've got a link here which I'll be happy to share with you shortly. But you can also have a look on his website, and he has books, DVDs, and other educational materials that can be accessed. You'll see some of them for a DVD, it might cost about $20 or $30, but if the Tai Chi class in your local area is $30 to $40, it's worth you weighing up if that's something that is going to, if that's going to be the method to increase that Tai Chi in your everyday. Some people like to go to local classes because, again, you do get those social benefits from interacting with everyone. But from that cost effectiveness side of things, this is where the DVD might be more appropriate for you. So we've spoken a bit about getting motivated, starting low and going slow. So again, where you start really depends on your level of fitness, the severity of your arthritis. And when you're starting out, it's really important to pay attention to how your body tolerates the movements. So it might take some time to actually adjust to a new level of activity. And so if you're not active, this is where it's absolutely going to be fine to start with such a small amount of activity, like 3 to 5 minutes, 2 times a day. You can gradually build on this and you can gradually increase it and work your way up to doing 10 minutes at a time, but allow your body to get used to that new level before adding that more activity. This is where we talk about finding your Goldilocks zone and not being afraid to poke the bear. So what we mean is finding that zone that's going to challenge you just enough to get the workout, get the benefits from that exercise, but also not overexert yourself. And when you poke the bear, it's about finding that level of challenge that is safe for you. So setting realistic goals and modifying activity when your arthritis symptoms increase. This is for osteoarthritis. If you notice increased stiffness, increased tension, it's a good idea to reflect on maybe what you did the day before, what you've done during the day that has maybe contributed to this. And you might notice a pattern or a correlation with, sedentary behaviors, not moving as much day before or the morning of. So try to modify your activity to stay active as possible without making the symptoms worse. Some exercise is always going to be better than none. Activity should really be joint friendly. So depending on your condition and its severity, once again, choose activities that are best for you and your joints. You might prefer low impact exercises like walking, cycling, water aerobics, or your Tai Chi. But some of you might like the challenge and look towards including high impact activities like walking, jogging, tennis, bushwalking. But the idea is to choose smart for longevity, but not at the detriment to your joints, especially if you know that's going to prevent you from doing more exercise. And it's really tricky to find this balance. Overdoing it could see you in a lot of pain. It could result in injury, worsen the arthritis. But not doing enough exercise and not moving, mistaking that good pain for bad pain, could prevent you from seeing the benefits of exercise. And then, of course, your safety is paramount. So, if you're starting and maintaining an activity plan and you're not sure in terms of where to begin, this is where starting with speaking to your GP can be really important, because they can set you up with a healthcare plan and make sure that you get access to a physio. So talk to a health professional or a certified exercise specialist. And again, your doctor is going to be the best source of information here. They're going to answer questions about how much and what types of activity are going to match your abilities and your health goals and be suitable, especially if you have any other pre-existing conditions. So just some tips for exercising at home. Try to exercise or do some physical activity most days. Consistency is really key to reaping those benefits. Even if it's just a short walk or a gentle stretching session. it's really best to try to exercise at a time of day when you have the least amount of pain or stiffness. And so pay attention to your body's natural rhythms and choose a time of day when your symptoms are typically milder. And when you're feeling less pain or stiffness, it can really help you move more and help you enjoy your workout more. Time your exercise with your pain relief medication. So if you find that pain relief medication is going to be key to getting you through your workout, consider that timing and make sure it coincides with when your medication is most effective. So exercise when you are experiencing pain can really help with your abilities to move comfortably and participate in a more meaningful way. Then we've spoken about pacing in the past, and this is just when you're starting small and gradually and then progressing your exercises. And so starting with very gentle, low impact activities and then gradually increasing that duration, intensity, frequency can really help with reducing risk of injury and preventing any kind of overexertion. It's the best way to actually achieve that progression in your fitness goals. If you do have a flare-up when you're exercising, and I guess this is something you have to be prepared for in some cases, just know how to modify your activities and manage that discomfort effectively. So some people need to just stop the exercise altogether. But for other people, you might find that using the hot and cold therapies, taking breaks, adjusting that workout intensity can be just as effective for you and allow you to continue exercising very safely. Now, finding an exercise program that's actually tailored to you and your own needs. This is where the healthcare professionals are really beneficial. But of course, using your due diligence to check what channels you're accessing, what videos you're bringing up on YouTube to follow along with, making sure that that workout is your fitness level. And then again, making sure it's as enjoyable as possible. Choose activities that you enjoy and fit your interests, your lifestyle. So if it's walking in nature, that brings you a lot of joy and happiness and keeps you inspired. If it's dancing to your favorite music, practicing yoga, swimming, it's about finding things that you prefer to do because that means it's going to help it be more sustainable in your lifestyle, and it's going to help with increasing any kind of likelihood of sticking with it long term. And that's when the benefits really come about. So what we've gone through are the very many ways to stay fit without breaking the bank. There are so many different workout videos, resources available online. So we've given you a few examples of where to access. And of course, you can always look on our website to see what programs we have available to you. And then we also have small sustainable changes over time is what's going to bring you the largest benefits in terms of overall health, well-being, joint health, regardless of budget limitations. So what I might do is I might pause the recording right here so we can open the floor to some questions.